Hello everyone and welcome to Clarity 16.0.2 Supportability and Feature Training. I am Vib Mehrotra and in this training we are going to be covering the Widgets and Smart filter. As part of 16.0.2 we are making the following changes to widgets. Widgets will now be available in custom sub-object. The date filter is going to be enhanced to support relative date based on the current date. The current user support for business rules has been fixed, and the widgets are also going to be available in the financial sub-objects, which is the cost plan, budget plans, benefit plan, and actual transaction. In this training, we will not get into the details for that specific enhancement, the widgets in the financials, as that will be covered in the financial enhancement topic. The reason this is important is because in the previous release, we provided widgets in different parts of Clarity, and just in continuation of that effort, we are also going to be enabling widgets in the investment sub-objects. In addition, customers have also reached out to the product management team requesting to enhance how the filter for dates work so that they can have a rolling date to analyze their data. So as mentioned, widgets are now available in custom sub-object. Widgets are going to be available in the sub-objects for the following investments, projects, ideas, custom investment types, and in addition, it is also going to be available for the custom master objects. The specific investment sub-objects, the widgets that get created in the sub-object can be saved in the view, and the view will be shared across the investment instances. This means that if I save a widget within the sub-objects view, then going into the parent investment, going to another parent investment and seeing its sub-objects, the same view will be available to me. Similarly, any widget library that is saved will also be shared across the investments and the custom master object. There is no change to the custom master object. That means any widgets saved in the save view or any library that is saved for the custom master object, those will be independent for each custom master object. The date filter has been enhanced in 16.0.2, where in the past we used to have only 4 options to filter by date, whether the date is between certain date values, is not, is before, is after. Now the users have several additional options that they can use to filter by date. The entire list is on your screen right here, where you can see you can filter by several options. The date filter also supports the current date, and you can also filter based on the current date and the number of days before or number of days after. This allows the end user to have a rolling date filter where they can see the information based on the current date and a certain date after, or the current date and certain days before that. So a rolling update filter is now possible starting 16.0.2. The date filter, some more details around it. The enhanced date filter is available within the common component filter. It is available in the widgets filter, and it is available in the business rule condition. So any one of those 3 places where you can apply a date filter, you will have the capability to use the current date as well as the rolling number, which is the number of days before and the number of days after. When using the current date, the value will be set to today's date based on the user's browser locale setting. When using the is between or is not between and selecting the smart filter to number of days or before or number of days after, the value for the other date is automatically set to current date. As example right here in the screenshot, the minute I select the number of days after for this value, we automatically set the the previous value to be current date. And you will see this in example when I show you the product demo. For the relative number of days, the values has to be greater than 0. The current user processing has been enhanced to move the processing for the current user on the server side. This allows it to work better for the business rules. This addresses a defect that was there where the current user was not working correctly for business rules. All right, with that, let's see the product in action. So here I am in Clarity 16.0.2, and for my demo purpose, I am going to first show you the widgets inside of a subobject. To see that, I'm going to go into my custom investment types, and within there, I'm going to go into a specific custom investment type, which is strategy. In strategy, I have different instances created, and let's look at innovation at scale. And for this custom investment type, we have a sub-object custom type, which is objectives and key results. When I navigate here, you can see now I have widgets within my custom sub-object. This widget works the same as the other parts of the application, where I can easily hide the widgets, or I can manage my widgets. I can define new widgets or save them into the widgets library, which then will be available across different instances of the parent investment. So in this case, I have all my different widgets. I can now also see the same. So I have these widgets. I can see the high priority items, the objectives and key results that I have. And if I now navigate to another investment, in which case I'm going to see the delight of customers, and go back into the objectives and key results, you can see that the widgets that were there for the high priority is the same available to me in another investment instances sub-object. And there is my default view where I can see all the different priority widgets. So the widgets are shared between the different parent instances where the sub-object has been defined. All right. Next, to see how the date filter is enhanced, I am going to go into my to-dos, and in here I'm going to look at the to-dos that have been defined inside of task. So by default, when I land into my to-dos, I have a view created, just my default view, and in here I can see the different widgets that at a glance tells me the following information: how many to-dos are there, broken down by the owners, how many are overdue, which that number seems very high, how many have been completed, and then I can also see how many specific to-dos are due in the next 7 days. So this is an example of where I can apply a rolling date filter to my widget itself. So let's just analyze this as how this was created. I'm going to go into my manage widgets, and I'm going to look at my due in the next 7 days. And here you can see the filter has been set where the due date is current date and the number of days after is set to 7. So right there I can see the number of days after, which is the option that is available, and I can then type in 7. So this will then always show me the number of to-dos that are due in the next 7 days. Right? I can change this number to 14 or any other name if I wanted to see this for the next 14 days. Similarly, if I wanted to see the past 7 days in this widget, all I would do is change this to current date and then set the previous date to the number that I want, so I can see all the to-dos that were due in the last 7 days. Right? So I want change, I would not save that settings. I'm going to go out of that. And let's continue to analyze this a little further. So I have all my to-dos, the to-dos that are due in the next 7 days. Let's look at analyze those a little further. For the ones that are due in the next 7 days, I have a saved view, so I can go in there and I can look at how many to-dos are due in the next 7 days. So these are all 10 of them are due in the next 7 days. And the way I'm able to determine that is by looking at the filter that was created using the rolling dates itself. So in this case, the due date is what I have defined, and I have set it to show me the data between the date ranges, which is the current date to the number of days after 7. If I wanted to see, again, the past data, all I would do is show me the past number of days. But remember, as I'd mentioned, you cannot set the past number of days comparing it to the future certain number of days. It has to always, one of these two have to be a current date. That means I'll have to change this to the current date and then change the number of days before to be now a value that I can enter. So I can say, show me the ones that are due in maybe the last 30 days. So any to-dos that I was supposed to complete in the last 30 days, I can easily see them by changing that data. All right. If I wanted to analyze now, just speaking of the overdue days, I can go into a view that I've saved for my overdue days. I can just click on that, and now it is showing me all the to-dos that were not completed and their due date has passed. And this is where I see the high number of 79. I can see it broken down based on the owners and investment types. And again, it has the date filter that is available. I can change this. Instead of is before the current date, I can easily change that. Well, maybe I only want to look at the ones in the last 30 days. So I can change it to is between. From the current date, I want it in the past. In fact, let me show you what I was talking also about, where the current date automatically gets populated. So here, if I show is between, the number of days in the past, the current date is automatically set, and I can say the last 30 days. So show me all the to-dos that have not been completed in the last 30 days. This concludes the section. Thank you.